Wow is right, but it will be a little while before we get there. To begin, I started with a few cheap heat-resistant synthetic wigs from Amazon. I tried my best to color match to Joy's hair in-game and then settled on this hot pink that was bold and vibrant in appearance. After that, I slapped one of the wigs onto one of my wig heads and then began the process of seam ripping the wefts of hair away from the wig cap. This process was a little tricky since these wigs came with a middle part closure that was also sewn in. For the first wig, I worked from the nape of the neck on forward to the crown and found that took a lot of extra time that was unnecessary. However, the wefts were not very secure, so undoing the thread went pretty quickly once I got into a good groove. For most helmet wigs, you begin with a blank cap of some sort. A lot of other cosplayers will cut the hair away at the base of the weft, but I wanted to ensure that my hair pieces were at their maximum length first before I did any cutting. Need to measure twice and cut once, that sort of thing. And I wanted to have the wig cap laid out with the ponytails placed and the middle part marked before I would cut any hair. With all of the hair removed from the wig cap, I found that the original cap itself would not be big enough for my head and hairline. Thankfully, our local hair store have wig making supplies, so I found an extra large wig cap. I also saran wrapped my wig head to protect it from the forthcoming glue. Next up, I measured out pieces of fleece to add on top of the wig cap. This way, the hair would have something to adhere to when I glue it. This particular fleece came from Scraps KC. I always stop by there before I embark upon any cosplay creation. What I would do is lay out the larger piece of the fleece, feel for these seams in the wig cap beneath it, trace that, and then cut out the pieces. This way I could cover the wig up with as little bumps and bulk as possible. I did use UHU Glue and hot glue for this, and used painter's tape to hold down the edges so that they would dry flat. The middle part section, I measured from where my hairline began to the back of the edge of the wig cap with a tiny bit of overlap, and then cut that out and placed it. She looks a little bit like she went through some sort of brain surgery, but she's going to come out just fine. Moving forward, I added the hardware. I'll admit that this should have been done first and foremost before adding the fleece, because pushing a needle through the hardened glue was really difficult, but hindsight is 20/20. It's my own standard practice for any custom wig that I create, and I always add the wig combs to the inside as well as an elastic band to give me some assistance with securing the wig. The elastic band winds up being a real hero too. You saw the Coke bottles, right? They are so crucial. I did make sure that they were rinsed clean before doing any of this, so I didn't get sticky stuff on my cutting tools. I used a box cutter to make an indentation and on the side, and then a pair of scissors to cut the drinking portion of the bottle off. I did my best to make my cuts as smooth as possible and to get rid of all of the jagged edges so I didn't scratch myself. From there, I snipped the bottle into fourths and fifths, kind of like the petals of a flower. Then I cut all the way to the bottom edge of the neck of the bottle, but I did not cut all the way through. I did bend all of the petal pieces of my Coke bottle flower into place so that they were flat. From there, I made markings of where I wanted the ponytails to be on the wig cap base, and then I glued the flower pieces into place. I should have used UHU glue for this, or at least my low temperature hot glue gun, as I found out very quickly that the plastic in most soda bottles reacts negatively to heat and it immediately contracts. Think kind of how you make shrinky dinks. I wasn't a fan of working with it, but I managed as best as I was able. To help cover up those raw edges of the plastic, I also added small pieces of the fleece material on top in a circular shape. This way, the bottles would be locked into place and fully secured, and then it would give the area around the ponytail a little bump in shape. After that, with the ponytail base is secured, it's time to add acrylic paint to the wig base. Painting the wig base will help mask any potentially thin areas of the wig where hair may not fully cover everything. I could have probably used a sponge for this, but I had some heavy-duty brushes from Blick that served this purpose well. The application didn't necessarily need to be precise or in a particular direction for brush strokes. Saturation and coverage are the goals here. And I wanted to make sure that I did this to where I could still see the middle part markings. One of my favorite rules of cosplay is while something dries, keep working. So while the paint dries, we're going to go ahead and keep moving forward. Prior to the paint stage, I used a piece of cardstock to take measurements of the hairline of the wig and where my eyebrows were, then transfer that to my actual face to ensure that they made sense. From here, I used the same method to map out my nose and chin and did a rough sketch of her bangs. After cleaning up the shape of the bangs, I cut out the paper pieces, then transferred those to foam and then cut them out. Her large bang is actually 2 pieces of 10mm foam that I wound up gluing together, and her circular bang on her forehead is just 1 piece of 10mm foam. Both of them were heat sealed, heat shaped, and the edges of them beveled and shaped with my Dremel. Moving on, it's time to get a little wire in the game. I had some 14 gauge wire left over from previous projects, and I keep heavy duty wire cutters just for them. Unfortunately, I didn't capture the drilling part on camera, but I did drill 2 small holes into each bottle cap, and I made sure that the holes are big enough to where the wire can be threaded freely, so that I didn't need to necessarily get a bigger drill bit. Then after that, and I make sure everything was good, I cut the wire pieces that were small enough to be threaded in those holes, but also bent around, aiming for a 2-prong sort of situation here. With my needle nose pliers and my needle nose vice grips, and a lot of strength, I bent the wire as much as I could into a sharp U shape. The bend of that piece of wire will be on the inside of the bottle cap, and the 2 prongs would be on the outside. So I don't get burnt out working on just one portion. I also jump to the bones of the wig, or her twin-tailed ponytails. A lot of Nurse Joy cosplayers will use fabric tubes stuffed with batting for her ponytails, then wrap that in hair. I usually like to work with pool noodles for the rough shapes of my other wigs, but I couldn't find any at this particular time of year. Thankfully, pool noodles can also be considered pipe insulation, which is available at your local hardware store. This particular pipe insulation is rubber and self-sealing, intended for protecting the AC coil that goes from your outside unit to the inside control furnace. It's not as rigid as pool noodles, but it still had great curvature. I kind of eyeballed how long I wanted the ponytails to be in proximity to my own head. You'll see me measuring a piece of wire the length of the ponytail that I chose because I still want it to be able to hold the bend. I also taped the ends of the wire with electrical tape so that they wouldn't poke through the pipe insulation. Then I lay the wire on the inside of that insulation and go over with some hot glue to hold it in place. It was overkill, but I also added more tape on top of the hot glue in the wire to ensure that it stayed as flat as possible. I'm sure there's better methods of doing this, but I did what felt right at the time for the tools that I had on hand. Because the twin tails do taper in a little bit where the ponytail holder is, I decided to add a dart to the ends of the pipe insulation to take away some of that bulk. This is pretty easy, just cutting out the triangular shape and then gluing it shut afterwards. Please note that this did take a little bit of time. A lot of the footage is shown at 1.5 or 2 times speed, but using the high temp hot glue gun always takes a little while for the glue to cool and harden. Next up, once everything is cooled, it was time to seal the tube entirely. Kind of how hot dog buns look before you go to press them open, I suppose. Because the pipe insulation was self-sealing, all I had to do was peel the sticker backings off and then press both edges together. I went slowly to make sure that that seam right there was flush. Even though this will all be covered in fleece later, I still want things to be flat and have as few lumps as possible. After that, I wasn't really satisfied with the taper attempt, so I just took more electrical tape and wrapped it around the ends of the pipe insulation firmly until they came to a more pronounced point. This was a little tricky since the rubber material is pretty spongy, but being persistent paid off. With the bones being nearly done, it's time to switch back to the Coke bottle caps. The initial bend of the wire was a little too wide, but I took some time to shape the wire and pinch it down to where it wouldn't stress the entry points of the bottle caps. It was a unique game to get this wire to be thin enough to be threaded, but then re-bend it again and expand it so that they would meet the ends of the shape of the twin tails. The main thing is to ensure that regardless of everything, that the connection to the wig base remains flush and fluid because I want the twin tails to be removable. Then with my low temp glue gun, I filled in the top of the bottle cap just enough to where the wire piece was covered. You'll see markings on the inside of the bottle cap where it still allows movement to be put back onto the bottle. I avoided that threshold entirely. Also, I used the low temp glue gun to make sure that I didn't have any kind of distortion or melting. After that dried, I prepped the cap and the prongs of the wire with contact cement to be adhered to the bones of the ponytails. A few tips from some of my other favorite prop makers. Clerk Cosplay always insisted on using a silicone brush for working with contact cement. and SKS Props always ensures that he uses a combo of super glue and contact cement for an extra strong hold. Now, all that's left to do is to adhere the bones to the bottle caps. And with it being assembled, it's time to put the twin tails back onto the wing base. Look at that! The wig cap base and the bones of the wig are complete. It's really cool to see the vision and watch the wig come to life from absolutely nothing. Stay tuned for the next portion where we add all of the hair and get things shaped up. Thanks for watching!